And we are officially live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the All Elite Ensemble review. You know, your weekly AEW Post-Show Breakdown here at BC WrestlePod. We are here for the second day of the row. The dynamic duo is back in the building. Of course, my name is Mikey. I am El Jefe of BC WrestlePod. I run the ones and twos, and I also do all the stuff from behind the scenes. And joining me back for another exciting post show here at BC WrestlePod is Mr. Barry Stone. Oh man, these names are getting better and better. This is fantastic. But Benny is here, so Barry Storm, welcome and happy to have you.
Greetings and salutations, Mikey. We appreciate all you do. Let's rock and roll.
Absolutely. So we got a lot to cover because we got a dynamite, we got a collision, and we have predictions for Revolution to make. So we're gonna make this intro bit short. YouTube, Twitch, and Kick is where you can see our lives. YouTube is also where you can find the post show edited versions that go up the next day at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. So don't ask me why the algorithm likes that time, but it does. So you can check that out if you need a more condensed version of these lives that we do. We also have social media at BC WrestlePod where you can find clips of our shows, report cards of the weekly programming, previews of the weekly programming, pay per view predictions, and so much more. We also have some merchandise available at our shop, bcwrestlepodshop.fourthwall.com. And we have a little coffee bot where it helps us pay for all these pay per views. And lo and behold, we here in the States are paying for pay per views. But fear not, because I'm really hoping that my AEW does very well internationally. That, when the time is right, the United States and Canada will get on that train. Also, I would like to thank today's unofficial sponsor, NordVPN, and I'm going to leave it at that. So, make if you feel inclined to donate, the coffee bot will be in the Twitch and the YouTube chat, but no pressure because we love you and we're happy that you're here, and that's all that matters. All right, let's get into this. Into this Benito because we got a dynamite and a collision and some predictions to make. So let's just jump in. So we are going to start, of course, like we do every single week here, and we are going to talk about the AEW Dynamite, which of course came to us last Wednesday, and we kick things off this week with the AEW World Championship on the line. I was like, whoa, okay, we're going to start this one out hot. So this, of course, is our champion MJF taking on the challenger and 1/3 of our AEW World Trios champion in Mr. The Jet Kevin Knight. This was such a good match. I'm like, damn, what a way to start, you guys. What a way to start. Holy crap. I mean, MJF does MJF things very, very well, but Kevin Knight is going to be that dude in the next year or two here in this company. And then we found out earlier this week that Kevin Knight has re-signed a multi-year deal with AEW. I'm like, I didn't think losing Kevin Knight was an option, but you know what? Glad that he's going to be sticking around for a while. So that was this match ruled. I have no complaints.
100%. Like, this is a great way to start off AEW, and the timing on MJF to kick Bryce like while Kevin Knight was in the air. Oh man, he's so goddamn good at this. He is so great at this. Like, uh, I like TV TV heavyweight championship uh, title matches. Get it out, Ben. Jeez, sorry. Um, he's like I think this is a fine little side quest for MJF, and it helps build up Kevin Knight. This was fantastic.
I agree with you 100%. Again, Not only does this give MJF more, matches and title defenses and preparing him for what's to come at Revolucion, but also it continues to showcase Kevin Knight and how great Kevin Knight is. So this match was a lot of fun. MJF does retain the AEW World Championship. Now, after said match is where things get a little crazy because MJF wins. He goes ahead to, well, first, Hangman Page comes out. MJF is ready to hit Kevin Knight with the diamond ring. And then, Hangman comes out for the distraction. MJF takes the bait, hook, line, and stinker. And as he turns around, he is greeted with a swift kick from Speedball Mike Bailey, who makes the save for Kevin Knight, which causes MJF to run off like a little bitch. I was like, oh, MJF, our chicken shit heel, never change.
God, he's so great. He's so great at being rude. That's all I'll say.
Oh man, so this will not be the last time that we see MJF here tonight. So we're gonna put a pin in that, and we're gonna come back to Max in a little bit, as well as the rest of these boys as we go through the show. It's like a 3-act structure with these guys. They started off the show, kind of had Hangman in the middle with what we're gonna get to, and then we ended the show with Hangman and Jet Speed and Max. So more to come as the show progresses. But
Mm.
move on because after we get to this ending sequence, this ending bit of our opening match, we just jump into another one. We had Orange Cassidy and Darbs here, Darby Allen taking on the Dogs, Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors. I know I said this last week and the week before that, but I'm really loving this new look for Clark Connors. And I want to believe that he made that decision, but also it doesn't hurt that Tekla probably helped style you. And it was great. I was just like, you went from looking like you got lost at, the Folsom party to looking like a 70s like action flick stud. We'd love to see it. Like, I'm loving this look, Clark. Also, Gabe Kidd is still a fucking psychopath, and I still love him for it. Like the way he comes out in this match, like he's crawling on all fours. I was like, good God. I was just like, I would like to know and have a full blown conversation with Gabe outside of wrestling, outside of his character. I'm like, I wonder if he's this crazy in real life. But we didn't even get an official start to the match because everybody jumps each other and we have a whole on brawl before the official match starts. So it's just like, I smell a revolution match coming. Because I was like, listen, revolution is all about we have to have some sort of blood feud. Like, I mean, we're getting the Texas death match, but like we need faction on faction warfare, and we got a lot of that coming up for revolution. But we finally get everybody back into the ring. The match happens again. Darby is one of my faves. I love Darbs. I love Gabe and Clark. And once again, Orange Cassidy proves that, he can work with anyone and he makes wrestling cool for people. And I love that for Orange. And I love Orange for that. But yeah, Benny, what did you think?
Uh, yeah, pretty much the same thing. Like, I thought this was really fun. Like, I really liked this. This was like the dogs, like, Dynamite debut as a tag team, I believe, and like I really, I second that. Like, I really like this, like, Mickey from Natural Born Killers type look he's got, and Clark Carlin, like ever since I saw him like at the what was it, like the first Forbidden Door, I was like, yeah, this guy's something. He's got something. And New Japan really didn't do nothing with him, with respect, of course. And now he's here. I'm glad. I'm really glad he's here. And I'm really glad somebody else is here too, but we'll get to that. And uh, I thought Orange Cassidy and Darby Allen worked great as a team. Like that, they were so fluid together.
I Yeah, I never expected Darby and Orange to work so well, but I kind of like them as a team, and I wouldn't mind. I know we talk about how we really don't, sometimes we don't really like thrown together tag teams, but with AEW's track record, their thrown together tag teams to me tend to be on the side of success more than failure. I mean, look at Brodito. I was just like, what is this pairing of Brody King and Bandito? And then fast forward to when they lost the championships and they were still together afterwards. I was like, don't you dare break them apart. I will fight you,
Yeah.
Tony. Do not break up Brodito. So don't please, if you're gonna break them up, nobody needs to turn. They can break up amicably. And you know what? Or if Orange and Darby want to go on a tag team title run, we know Darby's a really good tag team wrestler. I mean, him and Sting were a really fun team to watch when the way they were together. And Orange and Darby would bring so much fun. Let's put Darby in the conglomeration. He is like Darby is probably that one kid sister's little brother who you have to bring along to all the adventures. He's annoying as hell, but then when push comes to shove, when you're dealing with the crisis, he will come in clutch. So that is Darbs to the conglomeration. He's just Orange Cassidy's annoying little brother, but he knows how to fight, so we're good.
They're like he's like the skater kid that hangs out with like a group of stoners. He just
Seriously.
like
Oh my goodness. This is fun. So Orange and Darby do end up winning here, but their victory doesn't last long because Orange, unfortunately, gets bopped upside the head. And I'm like, oh my God, it's a shillelagh. Oh my God, they did it. Oh my God. And then I was just like, here he is. David Finlay is officially in AEW, and he is linked up with Gabe and Clark. And, halfway through the show, Tony puts the graphic on the internet that the dogs are hashtag all elite.
mm,
So I'm like, damn, all three of them are now in AEW. That's crazy.
it is pretty crazy. Like especially the turnover from last year. Like
Seriously.
you would have thought that Gabe was the next up over in New Japan.
Apparently
Uh,
not.
but that's a TBSI problem, I guess.
That's a New Japan problem. But hey, you know what? If these three are now in AEW, Ghetto, it is time to push the Drilla as world champion agenda. Or at least like global heavyweight champion Drilla Maloney. I'm like, put the title on this man.
Yeah. Drilla and EO, you know, let's do it.
I was like, now's the time. Y'all need y'all need to do this, but the dogs are now officially all elite. And man, Tony, I know I complained that we don't want like 18 matches on the card, but can we get a War Dogs versus Darby, Orange, and to be determined partner of choosing for this match? Put it on 0 hour if we have to. Like, let's do this. I'm
The thing
excited.
is, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind 18 matches, but do they all have to be 25 minutes? Like,
Like, gosh, my butt cheeks are gonna be sore by the end of this. Jesus,
right? Like,
my cheeks are
uh,
asleep.
if you can't get something done in 10 minutes, what what are you doing?
Right. So, I mean, we still got Dynamite and Collision this week, so we'll see how much more Tony adds to the Revolution card. So, but yeah, we'll talk more about the dogs when we get to Collision. So, but moving on from here, we get a backstage promo with Bandito and Andrade, and I was just like, guys, my telenovela dreams have come true. But Andrade, you're such a prick, and I love you for it.
Yeah.
He's leaning into this like telenovela supervillain, and I'm here for this. So I was just like, but Bandito, I love you. You have a heart of gold. Beat this man's ass. Beat him
Yeah.
up. Beat a bit. Like, I feel like in order to take the match, because this kind of started out of respect, uh, Andrade has gotten more and more bold as the weeks have gone on, talking the crazy amounts of shit to Bandito, which, as the heel, you're supposed to. Bandito, you could still be the wrestler with the heart of gold, but beat a bitch up. Like, honestly, there is no shame. You can still be a baby face and beat someone up, especially if they push you to that limit. It's like, all right, you ain't gonna talk slick. Catch these hands. Rated E for everyone. But I am still here for this match. This is still one of my most anticipated on the Revolution card. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, definitely. Like this one, just on paper, it's like, man, this could be match of the year. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and like I gotta give Bandito a lot of kudos because the way he can uh, be so sympathetic just through his body language, like he just emotes through his body language because he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't he has the mask, right? And but man, this guy's just so great at making you think that he's down and out.
Seriously. So Andrade and Bandito are still on a collision course for Revolution, and I am looking forward to it. All right, we got to keep this going though, because the Inspiration debut and get their asses beat by the Brawling Birds. Hangman is up next.
No,
Just
no, no. Yeah, right. Yeah.
so I'm gonna let you go first because I feel like we have opposite views of this. Or who knows, we might have the same
Maybe
view, but
not.
who knows? We'll see what happens. But I'm gonna let you go first, and then I'm gonna go.
Well, I really wish that JBL was here for what I'm about to say, but this was great.
Damn. Okay, I was not prepared for that, but I am here for it. See what happens, JBL, when you don't show up. Betty turns it around and he agrees with us.
Right? But hey, just because like I'm just as guilty as any other wrestling fan when I see something on paper or whatever, I go no, and then I have to wait to see what happens, and then I warmed up to it. Funny how that happened.
I love that. So to set the scene a little bit, the Inspiration technically made their debut, but it wasn't on a televised debut because they debuted during the House Rules show, which was the following day after Grand Slam Australia back in February. And then we've been getting vignettes of them. And so the week prior, the Inspiration let us know that they were going to make their in-ring debut on Dynamite TV against the Brawling Birds. And so the Brawling Birds are here. They make their entrance. They're in the ring. The Inspiration, make their song. Of course, they are still using Harley Cameron's version of their theme song, which I adore and I love. And I hope that Harley Cameron is getting paid with royalties every time that song plays. But the Inspiration make their entrance, and then the music gets turned off, and then they're like, no, we got to do this again. The music comes back on, and then Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter just start beating them up. They're like, oh, hell no. And then so they jump into the ring and start beating up the Inspiration. And I'm like, damn. This match didn't even go a minute because the Brawling Birds just like brutalized the Inspiration and picked up a win in like a minute flat. And I was sports entertained, I will tell you. I loved it.
Absolutely. I give sports entertainment type matches a lot of guff, but they definitely have their place on the matches. And yeah, this was great, man. Like it was funny too because like there was like a web exclusive that would drop like right before Dynamite with
Mm-hmm.
the Inspiration that would just and they said something about like getting your stopwatches out.
My God.
And I was like, okay, and I see where this is going.
And honestly, I know we want more for our women's division in AEW. Like, we want them to be utilized more and to get more
Mm.
time on television. At the same time, though, the Inspiration kind of They kind of fill a role that Harley Cameron is doing right now. A little less so with Harley now because she's still funny as hell. Don't get me wrong. But now she's being taken a little bit more seriously because she is tag champion with Willow. The Inspiration know what they do very well. They are here to be comedic heels. And honestly, I'm here for that because as much as I love all the women in our AEW women's division because they all can knock a bitch out, I'm also here to be entertained. And you know what? These two moms know how to entertain me. So this is fun. I can't wait to see what other shenanigans. Now, if we want to make a crazy super group, you put these two with Dalton Castle and the Outrunners, and that is gold. That is money. I will buy all their merch. Or even just the Inspiration and Outrunners together in this quasi weird couples tag team relationship. And Dalton is like the parent trying to keep it all together. I'm here for it. I can't wait. Brawling Birds, y'all had a good time on Dynamite, and then y'all fucking knocked it out of the park, respectively, in your matches the following weekend. Because we have to remember, this is the first of a very busy week for Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter going into the weekend because they beat up the Inspiration. They had a good time on Dynamite, and then Jamie threw down with Miyu Yamashita, and Alex Windsor took it to the limit with Shuri and walked out as New Japan Strong champions. So, God, what a week for the Brawling Birds.
And ran off a new crop of bad guys at the end of Wrestle Queendom as well. You know,
God, I cannot wait. More on that Thursday when we talk about Wrestle Queendom 8, y'all. So this was fun.
But, this was fun.
I was entertained, and sometimes wrestling just needs to entertain me. All right, Hangman is up once again. The under a minute to win it continues this trend because Hangman's theme song was still playing, and he beat it. He beat up the local talent and won his match while the theme song was playing. I was cackling. I was laughing my ass off.
I love it that like he takes the jacket off, hits 2 moves, and puts the jacket back on.
I was like, damn, Hangman, like, know how to tease us out here. Also, Hangers, I love you, but the color blocking choice, like, I had to do a double take. I'm like, is this man really wearing assless? Oh, no, it's the white. And the way that it's blocked off with the black, I was just like, sir, why are we really wearing assless chaps out here? I was like, sir, you are married. Also, hey, so I was like, cool, I'm here for this. While I understand what we got from here, and I was not necessarily mad, I feel like we went a little too long with this one.
Yeah, I see what they were doing though. I rather enjoyed this one because like it's not very often that we get like matches made in the middle of Dynamite. Like they're always like, you know, at 5 p.m. Wednesday. So like 5 p.m. Saturday or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being cheeky. I'm sorry. But
Be your cheeky self. It is loved and appreciated here.
well, like I like the like that like they made the match in the middle of the show, and you already know that one member of Jet Set Rodeo or Chuck so you know like and like Hangman just had a match, so even though it was just like 2 minutes, like he's already worked, so he's already got his cardio in.
Seriously. So I actually do like that AEW did this because it's not that often where we pull insert other companies in here that be like, hey, So we're gonna make a match, and the trios championships will be defended tonight, and they will be the main event. I'm like, okay, more on this when we get to the main event.
Hmm.
So I was like, I love that because AEW pulls that. They don't do it that often, but because they don't do it that often, it feels refreshing. Whereas certain other companies do it almost every other week, and sometimes it hits and sometimes it misses. So, but more on this trios championship match when we get to the end of the show. Brandon Cutler, love you down. You are always ending up as the young. You are always ending up as the punching bag for anybody that the Young Bucks are feuding with, and I love you for it.
He is paid handsomely for to do that, so so good on him. you know.
So we get to sit down, of course, no contact. FTR and the Bucks cannot touch each other. They cannot fight each other until Revolution. So this is your typical both sides sit down, they throw verbal jabs at each other. FTR and Stokely are out to leave. Brandon is there filming everything. And FTR is like, listen, we may not be able to touch you, but that doesn't extend to Brandon Cutler. And Brandon Cutler gets the shit kicked out of him as FTR leaves. And I was just like, all righty, Revolution's coming up. On paper and the in-ring still should be pretty good. I am still not the biggest fan that this is the match that we are getting, but hey, I'm not the one that books the show.
Yeah, right. Like, I think one of the things like that I like about it is that because the online fan base, it's sort of like meh, just like you just said, like FTR Young Bucks again, like and uh they were even sort of like the way I don't know, this this ended so quickly that it was sort of like okay, let's move on, you know, like let's get to it. And uh I think they'll exceed expectations in the match. I don't have any doubts that this match will rule.
Mhm.
Um, and considering that they haven't touched since what Revolution, um,
Mhm.
last year or
Mhm.
the year before, the one with Jack Perry came back from New Japan. He was, when he was there for like 4 matches. Um, but like either way, though, what I'm trying to say is that I might be in the minority here, but I'm actually looking forward to this one.
I am too. Again, in ring is going to be fantastic. Storyline wise, I'm not the biggest fan, but I will agree with you that it has been some time since these two teams touched and fought each other in this capacity. So I am willing to give it a little more grace. But we're gonna talk about FTR a little bit later when we get to Collision because right now we still got other things to talk about for Dynamite and
Oh yeah,
oh my god, this match also ruled.
I loved it. Like Hechicero, like trying to started on the ground. like, I'm like, I love this guy. like,
What I love is that Echiseto, yes, he is a luchador through and through. But what I love about Echiseto and kind of what he showcases is what we talk about all the time on Wednesdays during our CMLL show is that lucha libre is not just well, I mean, part of it is flying all over the place and defying every law of gravity in physics. But then you break down the styles of lucha libre, and what I love about Hechicero is that yes, he's a luchador, but he's a submissions and mat expert when it comes to the lucha libre. So this man is like the Mexican, Brian Danielson, Bryanson. Like he can tie you up like a pretzel in 20 different ways.
yeah,
And Moxley's just a big old bruiser. So when you get the mat tactician versus the bruiserweight, this match ruled. I have no qualms about this. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
yeah. I thought this was gonna be like a continental title match, but apparently it was just a non-title match. But man, these two were really fun. Like as you said, like styles make fights,
Hmm.
and uh, this a good old good old marks on this one, man. Never disappoints.
No, he does not. This was fantastic. This is really good. Moxley does win, but damn, this match ruled so hard, and I loved it very, very much. So, again, Takeshita and Moxley are kind of separating each other. Their factions are still fighting each other, but they're not necessarily having their match until Revolution. So we keep just seeing them fight other people in their faction, and it is fantastic. Takeshita, we're going to come to you when we get to Collision, though. So, damn, Swerve, we brought out the chain and everything. And I'm just like, how is there no stipulation between these two at Revolution yet? But I'm like, there's some I was like, you gotta have some crazy shit happen at Revolution between these two. Like, let's have a dog collar match. Give me a dog collar match between
Ooh,
Swerve and Brody King because I will mark the flip out.
hell yeah! Sign me up with that. I
That-
just noticed
Mhm.
right before we got on here that Defy, our beloved Defy, is airing a Swerve Brody King match on Saturday. I just want to shout them out for that because they're both from the Pacific Northwest, and I can't wait for this, man. Like I really like the direction of Swerve going heel and Nana throwing away the cup and bringing back the embassy towel.
Mhm.
I
It's the
love it.
small subtle changes that we really appreciate, honestly, when we get like character shifts and stuff like that.
Mm, exactly.
So again, I'm here if it's just a regular singles match and they beat the crap out of each other. But Tony, if you want some monies, I mean, you're already getting monies from Revolution. Let's make this a dog collar match or some sort of crazy stipulation. Like, I am here for all of it. So, and I love that in this feud that you have Swerve, who is the heel, and Brody King, even though he's a big monster, you are having him be the babyface monster, which is very hard to pull off. But Brody and AEW are doing a really good job of that so far in the execution. Because now, of course, had nothing to do with Tony, but just because of what Brody stands for. Honestly, I think Grand Slam Mexico is kind of where the origin of babyface monster Brody kind of really originated from. Because when you walk into Mexico with a Buck Ice shirt, oh sorry, a Ballas Ice shirt, and then most pretty much all the West Coast shows this past month that AEW has been around, every time Brody King is in a match, the crowd without any prompting, just chants "fuck ice," and I'm just like, West Coast, y'all are my peoples. Brody King is my peoples. So I really do love that they've taken this momentum and they truly have made Brody into a monster, but a monster baby face in this whole thing. And what a good foil that Swear Strickland just breaking and just snapping and beating up Kenny in their match. This is a perfect foil for Brody, and I am here for this match. I'm like, this is a comic book hero type of match for me, and I'm here for it.
Yes.
I'm excited. All right, we got to keep going though because we still got a lot to talk about. Girl, I knew Thunder, I loves you, but I knew we were in Texas, and I knew, girl, you were not gonna win. And I feel like this is the only big issue that I have, not with the match itself, because I thought the match was really fun. And I'm really happy to see Thunder kind of find her stride again. But Benny, we already talked about it last week. I don't want to rehash it into detail, but again, my biggest complaint about this whole thing is that we had a 3-week storyline going into this, and I was like, we could have had this at the pay-per-view. I love
Mm.
Stat Daddy. I love Chris. I don't think she needed to challenge Tekla again for the championship. I would have liked to see Thunder and Tekla and Revolution, but hey, you know what? Again, I don't book the show. And for the 12 minutes that we got in this match, I thoroughly enjoyed it, though. This was a pretty good match, and Tekla is awesome. I love her. and so is Thunder. But Tekla, girl, you are her right now. So
Yeah. Yeah, she's really carrying this division right now. Like, not really carrying it, but clearly the focal point. I also agree,
she,
like, uh,
mhm.
about stat is that like she's gonna. I don't know if we need to go back there yet.
Now, of course, I would have liked to see Stat and Tekla throw down, but I feel like we should have let it breathe a little bit, separate them for a little
Mm,
bit. They could still be in the orbit, but I don't think because it feels like we're jumping straight in and we haven't had time to breathe since Chris lost the championship to Tekla. And so
yeah.
immediately jumping back in, I'm
Uh,
just like, can we breathe?
yeah. Well, that sort of seems to be the issue with the women's division,
Mm,
because Mercedes isn't here, and we're just waiting for Mercedes to come back before everybody can get time.
yeah, and I mean, we already know that Mercedes is probably going to end up being the one to dethrone Tekla and take the championship and then go
Yeah.
on a run with it. So, Tony, you could take this. So, obviously, Tekla is going to run through Stat. I would say have Tekla give her like another short feud for Dynasty, and then you can have her do a long-term program with Mercedes. Mercedes will Mercedes will end up winning this championship when she loses her other titles, which might be a lot sooner than we think because she in this past weekend she lost two of her international championships, and at the end of this month she's probably going to lose the championships that she won in Italy too. So I think, and this is just a pure conjecture, I think that depending on how quickly Mercedes loses the titles, I think she returns either at Double or Nothing, or I don't know how you would pull this off, but if she returns at Forbidden Door 2, I think Tekla versus Mercedes is going to be the summer feud that carries us into, um, honestly, All In, I think.
Yeah.
So
To be honest with you, I could see the title changing hands before then. Uh,
that's fair.
before, but like, the last thing I want to say about Rosa, because I don't want to just for me, because I don't want to just push right past her, because
Mhm.
Thunder's one of my favorite wrestlers, women's
Same
wrestlers,
here, man. Same here.
and I just gotta shout out the uh, the trans flag colors on the sugar skull. I loved it.
Yes. I'm like, God, La Meta Meta is the realest one, and we love her for it.
And Nyla had matching gear at Wrestle Queendom. Stay tuned.
Gosh, I cannot wait. I was I was so elated that I finally got to see Nyla back on my screen. Honestly, I miss her so dearly. So
Same.
Tekla retains the championship. You know, the Sisters of Sin come in for a 3-on-1 beatdown. Um, Chris kinds of come in to even the odds, but Tekla still gets enough of a time to stomp Thunder's face into the championship before dashing off with Chris coming in. And I'm gonna wait until we get to Collision because Chris cuts a promo that, while it was given to us last week on social media, this is the on-screen story element of how this is happening. So we're gonna talk about that when we get to Collision. The two bald men are arguing, and first Tommaso wants to get, he calls out Kyle Fletcher and berates him for hiding behind the Don Callis family. It reminds him that he still wants to come for this title. And then, Dax over here comes out and, him and Tommaso have a bit of exchanging of words. And so, like I said, the two bald men are kind of arguing. We're going to talk about these bald frauds in a little bit later when we get to Collision. So we're going to put a pin in that. So, yeah, we're going to talk about that later. Orange and Tony just make magic and never separate them. So Orange, yeah,
I
Jesus,
love the part where, like, at the end, they just they're like, Orange is like, "How'd you get in here?" To the camera crew.
for real. It's so much fun. So Orange makes it known that he will fight the dogs at Revolution. He's also going to fight them next week and every week and leading into Revolution. So he's going to be fighting them a lot, is what he says. I was like, we kind of just broke the fourth wall and acknowledged the booking. We love it. And then Tony cuts her own promo against the Death Riders. So it's just like, again, Orange and Tony are magic, and I love them both. And Tony, we're going to talk about you because we've been wanting this forever, and we're finally getting it. It's been a long road getting here, but we're gonna wait until we get Collision. Main event time, and boy, howdy, this was some crazy ass shit because the match itself was good. MJF comes out towards the end to cause a distraction. Hangman is losing his mind. And unfortunately, Hangman's obsession with Max unfortunately costs Jet Set Rodeo the Trios Championship. So, not to bury the lead, but your winners and new AEW Trios champions are the Don Callis family, which of course is made up of Open, Aussie, oi, 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 Kyle Fletcher, and Mark Davis. And of course, Okada is now a double champ as well. And I'm like, damn. I was like, I am happy to see Aussie Open back together in some capacity, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, Aussie Open and Okada. Like, sign me up. And uh even though they got a screwy finish, like, it works for all their characters right now.
Mm-hmm.
And uh it adds a little seed of doubt going into Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that little wrinkle. And Dunkzilla being Dunkzilla. What else can I want?
Listen, I'm excited I get to see Baby Daddy #2 live and in person. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm just like, God, Mark Davis, I love you so dearly. Um, but yeah, I also want to set this up. I don't have a graphic for it, but like Tony Khan just wants to casually just drop greatness because Hangman cuts a promo and he's just like, you know what? He has his match with MJF coming up at Revolution in Texas Death Match, but he doesn't want to leave, Jet Speed high and dry as they go for a rematch for the Trios Championship. And I quote, Hangman says, I have called one of my friends for backup. And then when Tony Khan drops the, match graphic on social media, it's like, oh yeah, the Jet Speed's going to get a rematch for the Trios Championship. So it is Aussie Open and Okada versus Jet Speed. And they just casually just say, oh, and Mystico is going to team up with him. I'm like, excuse the fuck out of me. How you gonna just casually drop out that Mystico is gonna be a part of this show? I'm like,
Yeah.
Tony, I literally clutched my pearls. I'm like, oh my god, we gonna eat good. We gonna eat good this match. Oh my god. Oh man, I'm so excited. I
You
was like,
know, I
Jesus.
love Tony because he just like, this LA crowd will finally sing that song. you
Honestly.
know?
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna be completely honest. The West Coasters, we will probably sing that song more than the Texans did at Y'all in Texas. Literally, the whole arena when we were in Ontario, California, which is nowhere near Los Angeles, it's like an hour away. That whole arena was singing Mystico's song, and I'm just like, Tony, you're gonna redeem yourself from Y'all in Texas. This is the West Coasters is the right crowd to do this with. So
Yeah.
I'm
Uh,
excited. I can't, oh man, this match is gonna be so good on Sunday.
So looking forward to this one as well.
So that takes us to the end of Dynamite. But now let's get into the collision of it all because Collision was pretty solid as well. We kind of just breezed through everything. So let's just get into it because with Collision, we opened up with our AEW World Tag Team Championship. I was still kind of holding out that we would get a triple threat between the Bucks and FTR and the Rascals at Revolution. But then when they announced on Dynamite that this match was happening on Collision, I'm like, damn, the Rascals are going to lose. But even though I knew that fact, this was a great match. Oh my God. Another great opening match. FTR doing FTR things. These four worked really well together. I was very happy with what I saw.
Yeah, I love tag team wrestling, and this is everything I loved about tag team wrestling. Like uh, two people, two teams that just really, uh, work like a well-oiled machine, as they say.
These four went off, and I was having a great time with it all, honestly. And
You know,
yeah,
this is like the second time that they've faced each other because Rascals beat FTR in a eliminator like 2 weeks
yep,
ago.
yep.
Man, like total fantasy booking here. Like not fantasy booking, but like me being a mark. This match has been like one of my dream matches for a long time. Like
Mm-hmm.
just because of the way that they both work, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a very Arn and Tully versus Rockers vibes. Like I love
Ooh, good
it.
reference. I love that. But yeah, this was a really fantastic match. FTR would retain the championships, so they will be going into Revolution as champions as they face the Bucks. But kudos, like shout out to Zach and Dez because y'all did the thing. So Tony, I know they're not currently scheduled, but I would love to see the Rascals in some capacity on well, if they're not in the 21-man battle royale for Ricochet's title, let's put a match together to put him on the 0 hour. Um Also, I am excited and I am ready for more Myron Reed. I think we're going to get Myron very soon. I was just like, Dez and Zach can be the tag team. Put Myron in a singles match. Put him in the TBS Championship division. Kyle Fletcher and Myron Reed will go off. so, so good. Really, really fun match and a fun way to start off Collision. We're inching ever so closer. I mean, Anthony Bowens is out here trying to get into the ops, and I'm like, when I wanted more, again, when I wanted direction for Anthony Bowens, Tony, this is not what I had in mind. But you know
It's
what?
something.
I'm not mad at it. I need a little more, but I'm not mad at it.
That's where I'm at. Like I didn't I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. I was just like, okay. Because they said follow us, and then they never came back.
So we'll see more of this as the weeks go on. We're going to see how this all turns out for Anthony Bowens and the Ops.
Hmm.
Yep. Mark Briscoe, I loves you, but damn. Like, I was just like, Johnny's not here, so somebody's going to have to take this Johnny bump. But we get Daniel Garcia versus Tommaso Ciampa. And honestly, I thought this was a pretty fun match. Now, Mark Briscoe is out here, though. And again, not to spoil, not to jump too far ahead, but Briscoe accidentally cost Tommaso the match. And then, listen, I love Tommaso, but for me personally, he always works better as a heel. So we're going to get into the post match antics and craziness that went down after the subset match. But as far as this match goes, I thought it was a lot really solid. Again, Daniel Garcia is one of my faves. I'm a sucker for Tommaso as well. You know, before getting to NXT Black and Gold and following him his independent career, I do like Tommaso. But I am happy that Tony turned him heel because I'm like, he works better as a heel. But
Hmm.
before we talk about those things that happened after the match, Benny, what did you think of Tommaso versus Danny?
This match I was looking forward to since Tomas. They have a very not similar style, but they have a style that I saw would work really well together. And I like the match a lot. Um, Danny being a heel right now, like it's fine that he got like a screwy win. I just want to know. I just can't wait to see where this goes for Danny. Um, Tommaso's been great since he came in. Like uh, I thought this match was really neat. Like it was just what I wanted. Like up and comer versus vet. And as you said, like he works better as a heel, anyways.
I agree. Tommaso has had a very long career, and it was really fun to see him mix it up with, someone who is not new to wrestling, but is still like in the single digits of their wrestling career. And so, and again, we talk about this all the time, but Daniel Garcia has a hell of a comeback story, from
Yeah.
not being sure if he's ever going to walk again after that horrible car crash to now still wrestling, and I am here for it. So now, again, Daniel Garcia gets a screwy win because Mark Briscoe accidentally costs Tommaso Ciampa the match, and Johnny Gargano is not here, so Mark Briscoe had to be the stand-in. Tommaso turns on Mark Briscoe and throw this man's into the whole screen, and FTR is looking on like, you know what? We kind of approve of this, Tommaso. And I'm like, no, not the two bald men and Cash being a thing. So, but I am here for it though. So Tommaso is now gone heel. And more on Mark a little bit because Mark gets angry very later in his promo. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, just real quick, I just want to say that like I really like the idea of FTR and Champa like winking at the DIY FTR feud. I really love that because FTR has not let us forget about that feud the entire time they've been in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was a great feud. So let's do it.
Absolutely. We love to see it. And it is fantastic. So I'm excited because this iteration of these three should be interesting. More on that a little bit later. I knew when I saw this graphic, I'm like, Gravity, RIP, bro. RIP. But hey, it was really nice to see Gravity back on my screen, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he's improved a lot. His last run, you could sort of see how green he was, but like I thought this match was sort of a mauling. It really was just a mauling. There really wasn't much to say about it.
Oh man, I'm just like, this is going to be this is gonna be interesting. But this was a fun match. It definitely is a tune-up for Swerve and to get him ready for Brody. But this was still a fun match. And again, I love that the chain is now a part of his graphic again.
Yeah,
So
and it helps that it's Bandito's brother, so like adding a little bit more sympathy there too, you know.
for reals, multiple layered stories, ladies and
Hmm.
germs and non-binary folks of the internet. Layers. All right. So moving on. I'm not gonna lie, Chris. This outfit, yes, ma'am. I really dig this. I love that every week she is cosplaying some sort of nerd culture icon, and I'm here for this. But Chris
Yeah.
lays down the challenge that she wants a piece of Tekla still. And so it's funny that Tekla initially like says, no, we ain't doing this 2 out of 3 falls match, but you know what? Let's do it because I don't think you can beat me twice in one night. And I'm just like, well, here it is. We got the graphic last week, but this is the on-air official like storyline wise. We are getting Tekla and Chris Statlander in a 2 out of 3 falls match. And I was just like, okay, I'm okay with this. I was like, I don't want another singles match, but 2 out of 3 falls, this could be interesting. I'm here for it. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm here for it as well. That means that they're gonna have to give him time. So let's
Seriously.
do it.
And you know what, Tony? At least right now, we got 2 women's matches. So I was just like, let's make it a third. Give me another one. So
Don't push your luck.
I know. Damn. I'm like, put the Babes of
I
Wrath
would,
on my TV screen. So Put the pigs in the back.
I love the Laura Croft
Mm-hmm.
uh, gear here. Um, Stat is somebody that I feel like if she was not in AEW, she'd be tearing it up on the indies right now.
We saw her in Eve against Charlie, so I was like, duh.
Yeah, I know, like, because she's amazing. That's not what I mean. I just mean like,
No, I know.
she's
I was like, Chris was gonna be good anywhere she went, but I am happy that she is here in AEW. Selfishly,
yeah, and like, uh, Dynamite. Never mind. Let's move on.
damn. Alrighty. Well, we keep this going because Swerve gets in Kevin Knight's face, and I was like, run it back, run it back. Swerve tells Knight that he doesn't have what it takes to be AEW champion, and I'm just like, ooh, give me another one. Set it up. Let's do it. Run it back.
Yeah,
Put it on Dynasty. Put it on Dynasty.
I think
Oh man.
I like the direction this is heading. If I'm correct in where it's heading, but you can never know, really. Let's start expanding that embassy.
I'm here for it. Listen, I'm here for the Embassy 2.0. If that means we get yet where the Embassy, aka Black Excellence, let's do it. I'm here for it. So again, put it on Dynasty, Tony. Put it on Dynasty. I like to be entertained, and entertained I was.
Yeah.
And it's been a while too, because I remember we're like, damn, Tony, we got all this money to be putting up these multi-money matches, and then they had to stop for a little bit. And now we're back to it. So this is the 200,000 four-way tag team match. Of course, this is the Swirl, which is Blake Christian and Lee Johnson, who shout out to Blake Christian, who is also hashtag All Elite as of this week, which I thought he was already signed, but hey, good on Blake. I'm happy he has settled in AEW and he's going to do fun stuff also in Ring of Honor as well. But it is a Swirl versus LFI, which was really nice to see Dralistico and Roosh back on my television screen. Now, hopefully, Roosh doesn't get hurt and or piss off somebody backstage again. And Dralistico, I'm excited. I love LFI, and I'm glad they're back. Of course, they also take on the youngest men alive in the Outrunners. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, rounding out these four teams is, oh my God, is that Private Party? I will never get tired of saying it. I will continue to say it every time they're on my screen. So again, the Swirl, LFI, the Outrunners, and oh my God, is that Private Party? And Private Party win. I was so happy. I was just like, now they got this money. Now let's put them back in the tag team picture scene because I feel like they deserve another run.
Yeah. So to address the $200,000 money match thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like for the longest time, people were like complaining that why are these matches happening? I don't understand why these matches are happening. So
Right.
Tony was like, "Fine, here's a winner's purse," and they were like, why are these money matches happening?" Like, just can't make anybody happy these days.
Seriously.
And I thought was really funny was that like Roosh like just had a mask this time, like return match, and like they were like, no entrance gear, just get out there.
For reals.
And like, but you know, this match was fun. It was, but it was a lot of the same.
Fair.
If this is what like the tag division is headed in an interesting direction. Um, we need more bruisers or something, or maybe some like a technical team because
Mm-hmm.
everybody's a high flyer and nobody stands out. That's all.
No, I agree with you. And hopefully we'll start to see some changes in the next coming weeks because we'll see what kind of direction we head into depending on who walks out of Los Angeles as champion at Revolution. But more to come when we get into our predictions. Listen, I'm never going to complain when you throw these four on my TV screen. I love the Timeless Love Bombs, Lena Cross and Megan Bain, the Mega Sis. Y'all get one of these. Yes, I was highly entertained. Also, we finally got what I wanted because Marina Shafir once again sticks her nose into this match, which leaves poor Mina Shirakawa alone to get pinned to allow Lena and Megan to pick up the win. But Tony is beside herself, and we're going to talk about you, Tony, in a little bit. But again, you put these four on my screen, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah. I'm gonna go in the opposite direction and say that I was a very big fan of the Alita Cross and Megan Bain, and when they came out, I was like, "Ooh, give it a twirl," you know, like, as soon as they came in the ring, because well, I like gear. What can I say? Fashionista.
Yes.
Uh,
Sorry. I love that. I love it. Clip it. Clip it now.
uh, there was like a few moments in this match that I really thought was really funny, like the rolling back and forth on the figure 4.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really funny spot. And then I like that, like, it wasn't like a dominant win,
Mm-hmm.
right? But like the timeless love bombs were on the defensive the entire time.
Oh,
That, that was a
absolutely.
that was a nice little wrinkle.
So again, because Marina isolates Tony and leaves poor Mina in the ring alone, Lena and Megan do pick up the victory here. Also, I got to give some love to Mina and Megan, who had again, they were in Mexico the night before, and then they jumped on a plane to get here in time for Collision. So they've had a busy weekend too. Shout out to just women's wrestling in general this weekend because y'all did the damn thing this weekend.
Yeah.
Like
Every single promotion, every single woman worldwide. Happy
seriously,
International Women's Week.
yeah. I mean, of course, International Women's Day was on Sunday, but it is International Women's Month here. So once again, women's wrestling showing us that they are carrying the wrestling world in 2026 yet again. So we keep this going because Mark Briscoe is a very angry man. He's very angry. He's very upset that Tommaso beat him up. And so he needs to get even. So on tomorrow night on Dynamite, it is FTR and Ciampa versus Dem Bucks. So Mark Briscoe is teaming up with the Young Bucks. And I'm just like, I get this on my free television? Baller.
Yeah, this is gonna go wild.
Now, here's what I'm hoping. Again, I don't know how many more matches Tony's going to want to add, but this match tomorrow night is the perfect segue to put Mark and Tommaso against each other in some sort of match at Revolution. Make it happen. So, but anyways, moving on. That's pretty much the short end of it all for this one. The Dogs win a tune-up match against some local talent.
Did they ever?
And that is it. That's all I have.
That was good, but
It was.
it was just a beat down. So moving on.
Mm-hmm. Betty, we finally got what we've been asking for since Blood and Guts. Timeless Tony Storm is very upset, and she calls out Marina Shafir. and she wants a match with her with everyone banned at ringside. And Tony Khan made it official at Revolution. It is Timeless Tony Storm versus the Problem Marina Shafir, 1-on-1. Everyone banned for Reside. And I'm just like, oh my God, we finally got it. We've been waiting months and we finally got it. Thank God. I'm sat for this match. I am ready.
Yeah. Marina Shafir on pay-per-view. Finally.
Finally. And not with the Death Riders. It is 1-on-1 against Timeless Tony Storm. And I'm going to be so for real. I know we're going to do predictions here in a little bit, but I am rooting for Marina. And I think Tony can lose. She doesn't lose anything by losing, but we're going to talk about that when we get our predictions. But finally, we are getting this match. And I'm like, damn it. I'm so excited, but fuck, it took us forever. But I'm just like, you know what? My patience is being rewarded, and I cannot complain. So, we'll talk about that in our predictions, because right now, main event time, and I'm like, this match gets this. It gets one of these. I'm just like speechless, throwing the wrist around. I'm like, God damn. That is my notes for this match. I literally have God damn.
Yeah. I actually have a bunch of notes, but we don't have to get there. This was amazing. Like, I think this is gonna be on my matches of the year, like for TV matches.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna be honest. This is my AEW television match of this past week. This is my favorite match of the two shows, not gonna lie.
Definitely. It's funny how Takeshita has these amazing matches every single time out. And he's not doing anything different. But he's just, it's amazing.
Iron sharpens iron is what I say, man. He gets to work with some really good people every single time. And he's also really good himself. And I'm like, damn, Takeshita, I'm ready for you to become AEW World Champion in the next year or two. Like, put the strap on him, Tony. Come on, Anthony Khan, do it. But no, this was great. And honestly, Takeshita and Claudio are a match made in heaven, in my personal opinion. They're going to beat the shit out of each other, and I'm here for it. So
yeah, this was like two dudes tumbling at the end here, right? Like there was like a neutralizer into like a reversal into a reversal into a raging fire, and it was all fluid. And these guys are like 6'5".
I'm like, Jesus Christ, y'all. Jimmy H. Christmas, as kids say. Sweet Dragoon on a cracker, man. Like, I was not ready, and I was thoroughly entertained, and I was wrestling entertained, and oh my God. Takeshita wins this match, but fucking chaos ends Collision, because everybody, at first, Echi Seto starts beating up on, the Death Riders, and you literally, you hear Takeshita's like, we don't need that. I'm like, ooh, Takeshita slowly getting there. He's like, we don't need to beat them up all the time. Then, of course, the Death Riders come back and start fighting, and Takeshita's like, listen, I'm just saying, I didn't want to fight, but now y'all made me do this. And so a brawl breaks out, and then the cameras just cut. That is how we end Collision, with everybody and their mother fighting as the show goes off the air.
I love that kind of ending. I'm a sucker for that kind of thing.
Chaos. I love it. And I was like, damn.
Leave them wanting more,
Oh, 100%. And I'm just like, oh, man. Collision, what a way to go off. So that is it for the review portion of AEW. But don't touch that dial, kids, because we are not done quite yet. Because we are now about to go into, since technically this is our go home show, we are going to get into our AEW Revolution, predictions here. So I have sent a text message into our text thread for the AEW crew, and we're going to make some predictions. Now, at the time of this recording, at the time of this live, and this is before the go home Dynamites and Collision this week, we may be getting more matches than we have already. So Benny and I are going to do our best to make our predictions with the matches that we have. And then, as always, we'll probably throughout the week be like, damn, Benny, Tony added like 18 matches. Who are we going to pick for these 18 matches? So let's get into it, shall we? By the way, shout out to whoever's idea was it for the color scheme and the graphics for Revolution this year. It's giving me very cyberpunk Edge Runner, cyberpunk the video game. And I love this cybernetic dystopian, we're going with. And yes, and also, I may not live in Los Angeles, but I am a damn proud California. So this aesthetic works for Southern California and the City of Angels. Anywho, let's get into 0 Hour. So as of right now, we only have one match scheduled for 0 Hour. There, of course, will probably be more, but we are getting a 21-man Blackjack Battle Royale for the AEW National Championship. So Ricochet is going to have to defend this title against 20 other dudes. And who knows what Tony has in store. We don't know which AEW stars are going to come out. Are we going to see some crossovers? Are we going to see some returns? Are we going to see some debuts? Like, who knows in this? But obviously, because it is 21 individuals, we don't know. We can't necessarily pick who is going to win. So for our predictions question, Benny, after a hard-fought battle against 20 other men, do you see Ricochet retaining his AEW championship?
I do. What about you?
At first I was leaning towards not really, because we have this weird thing going on between Ricochet and Jack. I do believe that Jack Perry is going to end up in the final 5 or the final 4, but I think he will ultimately get thrown out. And I do think we set up at Dynasty Jungle Jack Perry and Ricochet for this championship, and this to be the blow-off rubber match of some kind. So I think Ricochet walks out of Los Angeles as champion. And yeah, so I'm going to say that Ricochet retains his national championship in this match. Alrighty. So now let's get into what we have so far for the main card. And let's start off with this match. And I was just like, oh my God. I'm just like, honestly, I'm probably going to be like this for all these matches, because I was just like, damn, this card is hella solid. So it hurts me to say this, Benny. I love Brody King. That is my baby daddy down. I was like, I love this man's with everything everything I have. But narratively speaking, it makes more sense for Swerve to win. So I got Swerve walking out as the winner, and it pains me to say it. It hurts my little heart.
Yeah, I'm also going to go. I jumped ahead. That was my problem. So I'm also going to go with Swerve. I think it's just the right direction for right now, and he needs to build heat. So
I agree. So this should, yeah. So it hurts my little heart to say it, but I'm gonna go with Swerve on this one. Now, whereas Brody King is taking on Swerve, his Brodito hermano has his own battles that he needs to face. And woo! I already said it. This is one of my most anticipated matches on this card, because I'm like, there's no title on the line, but I need 25 minutes. Give these men's everything, because this match on paper should be really, really solid, and I'm excited. So this is Bandito versus Andrade El Idolo. I am a person that believes in balancing the scales. So whereas Swerve is probably going to end up beating Brody, I love Andrade and I want him to win. And Tony Khan, I'm mad at you because you're making me pick between my Latin brothers. I'm like, this is a hate crime. But because I'm pretty sure that Brody is going to lose, I believe in tipping the scales. So I am going to go with Bandito here to win. However, if Andrade wins, I will not be upset, if it turns into a Andrade now has pinned the ROH World Champion, so Andrade versus Bandito for the ROH World Championship would be kind of nuts. Not gonna lie. So
I agree.
but I got Bandito for this one.
I'm actually gonna go with the opposite. Andrade for the win.
Cool. Tony Khan, don't do some bullshit where no one wins or both of them win. I'm like, no, there can only be one winner. So, honestly, though, this is one of the few matches where it's like, honestly, I'm okay with either option of being the winner. I'm not gonna lie. This is a win-win for me, man. I was just like, especially what's going on in the world. I get to see two Mexican superstars fight, and I win in life. So I am the winner in this one. So I win in this one. But yeah, I cannot contain my excitement for how excited I think. And honestly, I think this is the potential to be the dark horse and the spotlight stealer match of the entire night. Like honestly.
Oh,
so excited. But we keep this going. Everybody's banned from ringside for this one. Timeless Tony Storm versus Marina Shafir. I love me some Timeless Tony Storm. And usually I would not be the type of person to bet against her. However, I think between the two of them, I think this is it. Tony Khan, this is the time to pull a trigger on Marina Shafir and take her to that next level. So I'm going to go with the problem, Marina Shafir, to win here.
Same. I don't think Tony Storm loses anything. If losing to an up and comer like Marina, and I really hope they give him time just so Marina can show out.
Yes, please. I'm ready for Marina Shafir to be elevated to that next level. And again, Tony, you did your big one last year at Revolution because we're like a day or two behind it, but it is officially the 1 year anniversary of the Hollywood ending match. And that is still going to go down as one of the best women's feuds and best women's matches of the modern era in the last couple of years. And I don't care what no one else says. This is not up for discussion. So I think Tony doing her big one last year, I think Tony can do her big one this year by having and putting over Marina. So yeah, Marina Shafir all the way. And Tony, like you said, Benny, Tony loses nothing losing to Marina. Honestly, she's too big of a star and too good that it's not going to hurt her. Honestly, so I'm excited for this one too. This should be good. Also, give them time, Tony. Don't jip them of time. So we move on. All right, now we start to get into our championship matches again. Tony Khan just casually just dropped this on his social media, be like, yeah, this match is happening at Revolution. I'm like, how the fuck you gonna casually just drop this match? Like, how? But for the AEW World Trios Championship, we have the Don Callis family. So of course, Okada and Aussie Open defending their newly won titles against a rematch against Jet Speed and Hangman called in for some backup, and that comes in the form of Místico. So I'm like, how are you just gonna casually drop this match, Tony? I am mad and turned on at the same time because I know this match is gonna slap. But as much as I love Místico and Jet Speed, I got Don Callis family retaining. I was like, you can't just take these titles off these boys. Gosh. So I got the Don Callis family retaining.
Sorry, man. I jumped ahead of you. Yeah, same. I don't see this thrown together team winning, even though I like all three members.
I really, really do. And yeah, this match is gonna rule. I cannot wait. Now, moving on from the Trios Championships to our Tag Team Championships, and thank God, Tony, you uploaded a high def resolution version of this pick because for the life of me, I could not find a high res picture of this card, but finally they released it earlier this week. I'm like, thank you, God, Tony, because I was not about to be trying to show a blurry picture of this match, but the AEW World Tag Team Championship is FTR versus Bucks. And honestly, Benny, I am still torn because I cannot. I literally might have to flip a coin with this because I don't know who to pick because whoever wins is going to determine the direction we head towards the dynasty and double or nothing into the summer for the tag team division. And I think after thinking about it, as much as I would love to see this version of the Bucks be tag champs, I think that if you really want to create a cool moment, you have another face team that isn't the Bucks take the titles from FTR. And with
Yeah.
that line of logic, I'm going to have FTR retain here. I think at this point, the Bucks don't need the title run. They are just fantastic on their own, especially now that they brought Super Kick Party version of Bucks back. And I think that FTR has the potential to, you know what? If it's a private party, if it is the Rascals, I think FTR retaining here and putting over a face team down the road going into the summer makes the most sense to me. So therefore, I am picking FTR to retain.
I am actually going to say the same because I think the tag division is in a really good spot right now with a lot of really exciting high flying tag teams, and they need a foil. So FTR to retain.
Love it. Alrighty. So now we move on for our multi-person championships to singles matches. So let's talk about this one. This is also on my most anticipated match of the night because y'all know these bitches gonna fight. These two are going to be fighting and bringing everything they have. And I've been loving this version of Moxley since he won the Continental Championship. I've loved this version of Moxley. It's giving me like Blackpool Combat Club vibes again, especially with Bryan Danielson, Bryanson. No time limit. God, they could potentially go a whole fucking hour. This is gonna be crazy. I don't know how long they're gonna go with this match, but no time limit. But everybody is still barred from ringside, so it is still a one-on-one match. Moxley has done a really good job in this run as Continental Championship. He's put on bangers with lots of different people, especially the members of the Don Callis family, and they have been incredible to watch. I think this is where we finally pull the trigger. I'm going with Takeshita to win and finally get this championship off of Moxley. I think Takeshita is the person to take the title off of Mox. And honestly, because I picked Marina to win, my minor reasoning here too is I think if we are going to pull Moxley being thrown out of the Death Riders, I think Marina winning and Moxley losing will shift that power dynamic, and Marina will be the one to end up leading the Death Riders, which is also something that we wanted to see for a while, Tony. So I'm gonna go with Takeshita. Just put all the time limit belts on this man. He's already New Japan Television Champion, thanks to the New Beginning USA. So put the Continental Championship on this man. Like, let's do it. And plus, narratively, it would be fun because Takeshita is champion. He wins these matches with nobody, helping him out. The trios champions will get help from the Don Candace family, and it sets up, Takeshita finally leaving their asses at some point. So I'm gonna go with Takeshita for this one.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also going to go with Takeshita for the win because I think it'd be interesting to see Takeshita as putting on TV bangers. And yeah, I think he eventually ends up leaving the Don Callis family with this move because Okada now has two belts. If Takeshita wins, Takeshita then will have two belts. So
right. They could just keep one up in each other.
Yeah, exactly. Like that. they could drag this on until probably All In. So I'm here for it.
Same. So Takeshita it is. Alrighty. So now we get into our top 2 titles, at least like world title wise. So first, let's talk about this AEW Women's World Championship 2 out of 3 falls match. Tekla, the champion, defending against Chris Statlander. This one's probably the easiest pick for me. I have Tekla retaining. Now, if you want to put some more stock into Tekla than you already have, you still give them time, but you give Tekla the definitive 2-0 win over Chris. Chris does not get a single win in this match. Like, you really want to put Tekla on top of that pedestal to make her be the toxic spider and the monster that the women's division needs? You have her win, and she should get the 2-0 victory. Chris does not even get a single fall. So I got Tekla.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Tekla, much like Chris Statlander, needs to put down the former champion to hopefully move on to somebody else. They don't really seem to be building anybody else, but that's another story. But like, you know, I like that idea of the 2 straight, like the Briscoes, you know, and I'd even give Tekla like come to think of it, like if anybody interferes, like it's a disqualification, right? So you could just give up a win, and then you're on the back pedal. So like you can come back from that, and I Tekla is like really on the fence about like being a heel right now because like she is incredibly over.
Oh, great. Which is, we kind of see sometimes is that this is the heel that everybody loves. And I'm like, you're supposed to boo her because she's the bad guy, but she's a cool bad guy, which is better for me. And I was like, no, you will not make me boo her. I will cheer for her because she is awesome.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm having the opposite problem right now because I'm supposed to cheer for the baby faces, but the baby faces in the women's division haven't been built up to be a credible threat to Tekla quite yet. So if it is the case where Mercedes and Tekla feud, I'm like, Mercedes is being more leaning face is going to be kind of interesting. Or it could be 2 heels and I'd be fine with it. But regardless, Tekla retains here and she should get the 2. She should get the 2-0 statement victory over Chris. So, alrighty. Benny, this is gonna end up main eventing the show as we normally see the AEW World Championship main eventing most of these pay-per-views. Texas Death Match, MJF versus Hangman Adam Page. It's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be gory. I am going to be terrified and turned on because I'm a sicko for violence. Now, this is another easy pick for me, but not in the way that you think. I love Hangman Adam Page, and I will forever stand him in a day. He is on the right side of history, which is a really nice added bonus. But for storyline purposes and given the history between these two, I'm going with MJF because MJF needs this statement win over Hangman. And he can finally say, I finally beat Hangman and I beat him at his quote unquote own game because Texas Deathmatch has become Hangman's thing. And so MJF should be able to win this match here and say that he beat his longtime nemesis Hangman in his own game, which will definitely add more to MJF's title reign for this go around. So I got MJF winning here.
Yeah. I got Hangman. With the stipulation of Hangman not being able to challenge again, like the code. Like it's too obvious. You know, like you can't take your main character out of the main story. So
which is fair. And I think that's the only thing I hate about this whole entire match is not the Texas death match part of it, but because it's
Hmm.
that stipulation that if Hangman loses, he can never challenge for the title for the AEW World Championship again. And I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, I really hate this, but I still think it's going to be a really fun and crazy match. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, we'll see what direction they end up going because it's going to be crazy. But yeah, those are our predictions for AEW Revolution. And that is the end of our AEW show. Of course, we went a little bit long, but again, when we do predictions, we have two shows and the predictions to make. So we tend to go a little bit longer for these ones. But Benny, thank you for being here with me this evening. I appreciate you sticking it out this long. And yeah, Revolution is going to be a lot of fun this Sunday, and we still got a Dynamite and Collision before then. So very interested to see what else Tony is going to throw at the city of Los Angeles for Revolution. And I'm excited to be there in person and be boots to the ground for that one.
Yeah, give them a fuck eyes chance for me.
Oh, absolutely. Y'all already know that your boy is going to be participating. I was just like, I ain't scared. But before we get to Revolution, we still have some really good stuff happening this week here at BC WrestlePod. Tomorrow night, once again, is the double header of NXT and CMLL, and both shows are going to be quite fun to review. So first, for NXT, we will be breaking down the Vengeance Day PLE, which occurred this Sunday. And while they had a mix of men and women's matches, again, the women definitely had the best match of the entire night. And so we will be talking about Vengeance Day and all the stuff that went down with that at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. And then at 8 p.m. Pacific, the CMLL crew will be talking about the National Women's Day show, 8 matches, CMLL, Stardom, and AEW girls. God, it was a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to talk about it because it was so much good stuff. And then we keep that going, Benny, because you will be back with me on Thursday, me and you, Eve, you know, Wrestle Queendom 8, and already so far it is the contender for my pay-per-view of the year already. And like we're barely in March.
Same, absolutely same.
So we will be talking about Eve Wrestle Queendom 8 this Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And then we wrap up the week on Friday with our TNA post show at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, it's just wrestling has been a lot of fun this past weekend, and women's wrestling made me smile. And it's just like, this is why I love professional wrestling because I get to enjoy matches and cry like a little baby when things move me. I was moved many times this
Mm,
weekend, Benny, and I am not
same.
ashamed. And I am not ashamed to say that. Oh man, but it's gonna be a really fun week. But we got to get up on out of here. So thank you so much for tuning in to All Elite Ensemble. We will be back next week as we will be doing the post show for AEW Revolution. And also, we're almost at the end of this prediction season across all the promotions. With AEW, we have Revolution, and then we have Dynasty, and then we will determine who is the ultimate 2025 to 2026 AEW predictions champion. So stay tuned for all of that nonsense and the fun stuff, as well as all the other things we got going on this week. But from all of us here at BC WrestlePod to you at home, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. You'll see me tomorrow with my NXT and CMLL crew for those shows. But until then, sayonara, adios, and until next time, peace.